we're 11 days out from Election Day, and Pennsylvania is in the spotlight. Harris's running mate, Tim Walz, will be in Allentown and Scranton later today. Harris will be back in Philadelphia on Sunday. Tomorrow, Trump will hold a rally in State College, and J.D. Vance will hold a town hall in Harrisburg. The Ukrainian population in Pennsylvania could have an impact on the state's election, with more than 160,000 Ukrainians living in Pennsylvania. The Washington Post reports Ukrainians in the state are split on Harris and Trump. However, the leader of the Ukrainian National Women's League of America told the outlet many Ukrainians believe Russia's invasion would not have happened on Trump's watch. Joining me now is Indiana Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, a member of the House Judiciary and Republican Study Committees and the U.S. Commission on Security and Cooperation in Europe. Congresswoman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. How important is that Ukrainian vote in Pennsylvania? How would you assess the race today?
Well, listen, Maria, I think it's important for us, and I'm actually planning to go visit Pennsylvania too, to engage with immigrant votes, and especially Eastern European voters, because a lot of these voters that came from Eastern Europe, oppressed countries, they didn't come here, for lawlessness. They didn't come here to be run by government in D.C. and be oppressed. And I think we need to do a better job to show the prosperity that our policies bring and what President Trump brings to the table. We also need to point out when President Trump was in charge, he was one of the toughest presidents since Reagan on Russia, and Russia didn't move. But I think we need to communicate. There's a lot of politics, Democrats being brainwashing and lying to a lot of Ukrainian, Eastern European populations, and we need to do definitely better as a party. So I hope we will try to get that message, but people see what's happening, and I think people are waking up, and that's very positive.
I mean, there's also, I think, 800,000 Polish Americans living in Pennsylvania as well. This is such an important voting bloc. Poland, as well as Ukrainian-American citizens. How do you think they'll vote in Pennsylvania? What are you expecting for this election?
Well, it's tough over there. Unfortunately, Democrats have so much money. They're able to run a lot of ads with lies. And that's one thing. At some point, we have to look in all of the machine that Obama created with a lot of money to be able, they're printing money. And we have dishonest media. Most of the media never give a Republican a chance to send their message, even there's crazy things about us. So I think it's very difficult, in this races. It's very brutal, but people are waking up. People are paying attention, and people who come here legally, they appreciate our country, sometimes more than even people that were born in our country. And that's unfortunately, we need to work on that. But I think we'll need to get out and we need to go to talk to this community because they come for opportunities for children, good job, good economy, good education. That's what a lot of immigrants want here that come legally. And that's important for us to be there and send this message. It's going to be tight. That's why we need to be on the ground. President Trump has a good team. They've been on the ground for a while, but we need to go sometimes as a part in the community that we're not used to. And I'm glad that he's doing it. He's going to Hispanic, Black community. We need to probably do much better with legal immigrants in our country.
And you know what all of these groups agree on, apparently? Everybody feels that we should be using voter ID, okay? 84% of U.S. adults favor photo identification rules when they go to vote. That's according to a new Gallup poll. That's not me, that's Gallup. 83% want to require first-time voters to provide proof of citizenship. 76% said that they favor early voting, Congresswoman. Your thoughts on the fact that you've got Merrick Garland right now, the Attorney General of America, vowing to stop voter ID. Why?
Well, listen, it's crazy even to think. If you think about it, we're a country of law, and it's a privilege that is given to our U.S. citizens. And a lot of people understand that this lawlessness is not acceptable. Americans understand it. Actually, no other civilized countries in the world have these elections for months and months, and after election day, no IDs and everything else. I mean, this is just a common sense. And unfortunately, there is no common sense in Washington, D.C., and Americans do have common sense. We need to start addressing these issues. It's really a state-by-state issue. Federal government can push on the states more, but honestly, most Americans need to have this voter IDs laws because we need to rebuild trust in our system. Distrust in the system could be a huge failure for our republic, and people are not trusting our election system. People don't trust our government, and we as a government have a responsibility to rebuild that trust.
Yeah. Look, Doug Collins, jump in here because I want to know how we're supposed to trust when you've got Gavin Newsom in California banning voter ID. Imagine you take your ID out, you're under arrest. I mean, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. And then you've got the DOJ suing Virginia and Alabama because they're just trying to stick to the letter of the law, which is only American citizens are supposed to vote.
Exactly, Maria. You're hitting it right, and the Congresswoman hit it right as well. But I have you an interesting one last night in Georgia at the rally that was covered. The Vice President was at and President Obama was at. They sent out an email earlier. They sent out an email and text earlier in the day that said that the only way you can get in is you have to RSVP. And that the only way you get then into the place is that you have to have a government-issued photo ID with your RSVP to actually get in the place. The hypocrisy of the Democratic Party on this issue is just vile. When you look at it like that you can't get in to see the vice president, to hear a small concert and a pep rally, but yet they think that showing a voter ID to vote, the most sacred gift we have in this country, is amazing to me to even think that they would even go there.
And Congresswoman, we're supposed to believe that it has nothing to do with the fact that 10 million illegals are in this country right now? And we're supposed to believe that they don't want illegals to vote? I mean, this is an issue across the world. Even Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau put out a tweet last night saying he's reducing immigration. He posted it on X. He says, we're going to significantly reduce the number of immigrants coming to Canada for the next 2 years. This is temporary, he says, to pause our population growth and let our economy catch up. We have to get the system working right for all Canadians. Canada's unemployment rate is 6.6%. Real GDP per capita has declined in 7 of the past 8 quarters. Canada's population is now 41 million people. In 2019, it was 37.5 million living in the country, Congresswoman. So, you know, this voter ID issue is real, and so is the wide open border.
Well, of course, but you can see, Maria, you know, fortunately, I think that I'm optimistic because Congress has only 12% approval rating, current president, not much higher. So we can see that American people at least understand what's happening in the country. So that's optimistic, but we definitely need to do something about it. What we have is lawlessness. It's bad for Americans. All crime, all what's happening right now in the country start having really serious effects. And it has effects on all communities, not just urban communities. So this is an issue. But most people, Americans, want to have law and order in our country. We don't want to be run by cartel and have a mob rule.
Well, it's very concerning that under Kamala Harris, we've seen 2 wars starting, and we could actually see a third bubbling up here. The Pentagon has confirmed that North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un has sent at least 3,000 troops to Russia. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has warned that it would be, quote, very serious issue if those North Korean troops deployed to Ukraine. Congresswoman, what do you make of this now North Korean element in the war?
Well, of course, we can see that, you know, what this administration done, they'll allow China, Russia, Iran to fund bloodshed and in collaboration with Korea to help with this really serious situations and wars. And I think this is really, you know, a lack of strategy, lack of serious energy policy, lack of sanction enforcements, and give them billions of dollars to finance this bloodshed. So Russia has a lot of money. Now they can buy North Koreans. They can give them some serious weapons. That's what they did to Iran. And this is a very serious security situation. There are no consequences for them because, you know, these people are weak. Oh, little incursion. Oh, my gosh, we're all afraid of you. What they were doing right now in the foreign policy, it's so dangerous. And that's why wars are escalating. And unfortunately, if we don't elect leaders who have backbone and can push back like President Trump did, it will be even going further.
Very, very dangerous times right now. Congressman, thanks very much for weighing in on all of that. We so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And to you, Victoria Spartz. We'll be right back. Stay with us.